Hi guys, Scuffy Spurs Talk here, back with another video. In today's video I'll be reacting to a 3-1 home win against Morecambe, eventually getting the job done to progress to round 4. And in today's video I'll be giving you player ratings, my reaction to the performance, what Conte had to say in his interview, and who was drawn in round 4. So please stay watching until the very end and let's crack straight into it, and I hope you're all well. Eventually, all positives and all smiles for our Spurs fans after very difficult game where we should have done better. We played the second team, but you know, we still should do better. I think it was 69-70 minutes in the end. Conte made substitutions, brought Skip, Kane and Mora on for once. So he shouldn't have taken that long. You know, Morecambe got the goal from the set piece. Fans got behind them. The atmosphere obviously wasn't great because it's a family event. It was more of a family game. There wasn't, obviously, some of the top tier was shut, so the atmosphere didn't help, but the players' performance wasn't very good. Disappointing individual. I'd like to point out, and when Ndombele got substituted, I think it was 70 minutes, he was one of the ones who came off. He got booed because he walked off the pitch slowly. And then Ndombele's attitude's not right. His performances haven't been great. He should have walked quicker off the pitch. Players gave him a nudge, including Harry Kane, when he got down the tunnel. But I'm disappointed in Spurs fans that they had to boo Ndombele. It wasn't just a group; it was the whole stand that I was in. The whole of the Park Lane booed Ndombele. Whole of the stadium, it ringed all round. And Ndombele looked at the crowd, and if I was Ndombele, I'd probably have tears in my eyes. I don't want to see that, even if his attitude is wrong or you don't boo a player like that. Yes, he was slow coming off the pitch, but he's one of the better players today. If there's anyone who's going to do something, it wasn't Ndombele. So I'd like to say, if you're watching and you're one of those people, I think you should be ashamed of yourself, because I'm not happy with Ndombele getting booed, one of our own players. I don't like social media abuse either about certain players. It's not fair. Don't abuse a player. Talk about a team, but not you could say an individual player played bad, but you can't. I think booing a player, unless they've come out and publicly said something, which Ndombele hasn't. If Romelu Lukaku's situation with Chelsea, fine. If Ndombele came out and said things like that, boo him, fine, if he hasn't apologised. But Ndombele hasn't done anything wrong. His attitude's wrong. Yes, he'll probably leave in January. But yes, he's slow coming off the pitch. Players are frustrated with him. Yes, fans to boo him like that when he didn't have a bad game, I think is frustrating. But yeah, I think it. I personally think it is. I personally think it's wrong. But now, here are my player ratings. So on the screen now, Galini I've given a 4. Mix up with Rodon a couple of times. Rodon was frustrated with Galini. Obviously he's a second keeper, but he's still adapting to first team football. Davis I've given a 4, maybe slightly on the harsh side. Didn't do anything right really, but at the same time didn't do anything wrong really. Tanganga I've given a 3, another bad performance for him at the bridge. He's done well under Nuno. First couple of games keeping Sterling and Mahrez in the pocket, but he's recently struggled. But I believe Tanganga can bounce back for that. Rodon I've also given a 3, as I said, had that 2 incidents with Galini had a shaky first half, I personally think. Sessegnon I've given a 6, so I liked it, left wing back, and I thought he'd done really well and caused lots of problems. One of his better performances in the Spurs shirt. Doherty I've given a 5, who in the second half swapped sides with Sessegnon and played left wing back. So he had a couple of really good chances where he got into the right positions, but end product's not quite there. Not bad performance from Doherty. Personally, I think he's done alright. Harry Winks I've given in the end a 6. I think Winks played well. Again, for me, it's in between somewhere in 6 and 7. I can understand Winks played well. Controlled midfield, gave the ball away a lot in the first half. I'd like to point out the standard of the football in the first half was very, very poor. We played like the League One side, and Morecambe played like the Premier League side. So, at the end of the day, it's all smiles, and we won through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. But yeah, Winks 6. Yeah, not much to say. Lassalso 5. He tries hard, but again, not one of his better performances. Ndombele, who got booed off, 5.5. I think it's one of the better performances today in Spurs shirt with his tricky feet. Attitude is wrong. Laziness. Slow, yeah, okay. But there's no need to boo him. Not as loud as that was. I find that awful. Players got booed off at half time. I understand that because it's really bad against Morecambe because the whole players. But you don't boo an individual player. I don't think that's fair. I think he's been unfairly treated, but don't get me wrong, he's been awful, and I'm not going to hold back my criticism of him, but I will not stand there in the stadium boo. I just looked around me and I will not boo a player unless they've come out and publicly said something nasty about the club. Fact. Gil, I've given him 5. Works hard, like Lucas is funny, but the end product isn't quite there for Gil. He's young, he's lightweight, he'd get there though. Dele, I've given him 5, who played that false 9 role. I don't think he'd done too bad at it. He had a couple of good chances, but I don't think it's one of his better performances. Gives the League One side Morecambe. Could have done better. One of the only ones pressing. Substitutes here are high player ratings, as you can see. Lucas Moura, I've given it 8. Got that goal. One by pressing high. So he pressed high and won the ball back. And then what, Sonny and Kane would usually score, perhaps sometimes, I'd say 7 out of 10 times Son and Kane would score that, but they've just blasted it in either corner. Lucas took on the risk of taking on the goalkeeper and scoring. It's an incredible goal, and he just had so many chances charging forward and pressing the ball, and I really love Lucas. Plays with a smile on his face, plays for the club. Yeah, I love Lucas. Brilliant player. I love everything about Lucas. Kane, have given him 7. He got that goal when he came on, had massive impact. Had a big chance he should have scored in the right area. Kane back to his best. Definitely a performance getting there after a very average, poor season. He's getting there though. Scarlett, have given him 5. He's done nothing wrong. This player rating is based on we didn't see him for long enough. He came on too late. Emerson Royal, I've given him 6 purely because he pressed the ball back well and was involved in that goal, in one of the late goals to go 2-1 up. Skip, I've given him 6. He came on and controlled the midfield well, along with Harry Winks. So that is my player ratings. Let me know in the comments below what you would tweak and change. Now, we're going to go on to Antonio's verdict on Morecambe. Antonio Conte spoke about keeping the positives after a challenging 3-1 victory over Morecambe in the FA Cup third round at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today. The League One side led at half-time via Anthony O'Connell's goal from a corner on 33 minutes. The Shrimps held onto that advantage until the 74th minute when Harry Winks' free kick from the left touchline sailed into the far corner, which was perhaps a bit lucky. He didn't really celebrate, but funny. We finally led on 85 minutes when substitute Lucas Moura won possession from Shane McConnell on halfway, and there was no stopping the Brazilian, who sped into the box, jinxed around the goalkeeper really calmly and smartly, by the way. Trevor Carson and slotted home. Harry Kane, also off the bench, converted from 6 yards out to secure the 3-1 victory and set up the round 4 tie. I'm not going to tell you who it is because I'm going to tell you in a minute. Keep that suspense. Keep watching until the very end to find out who we got in the 4th round. Speaking on N17 Live, Antonio reflected, I think for a big part of this game we struggled. In this type of game you have to score, because if you don't score you can find during the game a block of players trying to defend the result. Agree in the FA Cup with him. When then it can happen through a set piece to concede a goal. That happened today. We could do much better. The target is okay because we tried to give a chance to the players who didn't play so much in this last period at the same time, which means second players, by the way, and give a rest of players like Harry Kane and Lucas Moura, who played a lot in this period. At the end, we reached this target, and that's important for sure. We have to analyse the game and to keep positives and try and improve the negatives. Agree. Harry Winks also spoke to N17 Line and told us there have been some home truths at half time. For sure, I wasn't happy at half time, added Antonio. I think this is the type of game, especially where when you play a team lower than you have to try not to suffer. In the first half, not one of my players were happy. My mood was the same. I tried to transfer this to the players. We're having a tough period, a busy period, 7 games in 20 days. I know very well that when you have such a busy period, it's not easy. You can feel the fatigue. At the same time, especially for this reason, when you play in England, you have to be competitive. You have to have a good squad and make substitutions and rotate like we did today. So that is what Antonio Conte had to say. And finally, after that 9.5 minutes of suspense, I'm now going to tell you who we've got in the 4th round of the FA Cup. We have drawn at home to Brighton and Hove Albion in the 4th round of the FA Cup. The draw took place this afternoon, Sunday the 9th of January, which is today. It actually took place less than an hour ago. After we scored 3 late goals to see off Morecambe, 3-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the 3rd round. The Seagulls made it through to the stage with a 2-1 win at West Bromwich Albion on Saturday. 4th round ties will be played over the weekend of 4th to the 7th of February, and exact date, kick-off time and ticket news will be confirmed in due course. FA Cup 4th round draw in full. I'm going to read you all these FA Cup things. You might be wondering why, because I just do about Spurs, but just so you know, teams around us when we progress further into the competitions. Crystal Palace versus Hartlepool, Bournemouth versus Bournemouth Wood, Huddersfield Town versus Barnsley, Peterborough United versus Queen's Park Rangers, Cambridge United versus Luton Town, Southampton versus Coventry City, Chelsea versus Plymouth Argyle, come on Plymouth, Everton versus Brentford, Kidder-Smith Harriers versus West Ham United, come on Kidder-Smith Harriers, Manchester United or Aston Villa versus Middlesbrough, because Man United and Aston Villa is tomorrow, Tottenham Hotspur versus Brighton Hove Albion, which is us, Liverpool versus Cardiff, Stoke versus Wigan, Nottingham Forest or Arsenal versus Leicester. Let's hope Nottingham Forest get through against Arsenal. Manchester City versus Fulham, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Man City. So that's the tie, just so you know, teams that we've got around us. So thank you for watching today's video. We've discussed the player ratings. Let me know your player ratings in the comments below. Talked about what Conte had to say about the game, but one of his players wasn't happy, Ndombele. Yeah, and who we've got in the FA Cup 4th round, which is Brighton at home, and when kick-off time and exact date and more ticket information will be confirmed in due course prior to the game. So reflecting on today's game, we eventually got through. It wasn't easy, but it's darius to do. We kept going, had to bring on the big guns. We haven't got a great second team, proved it in the Conference League this year and the Europa League last year, but stay positive because we've got Chelsea on Wednesday and the tie is not over. If we score early, fans get behind us, the atmosphere, stadium's rocking, and you just never know with us, because really to dare is to do. And as always, come on you Spurs.